Hi everybody, welcome back. My name's Alison, the online piano and the online violin tutor. Today I'm going to take you through an easy version of Chandelier on the violin by Sia. I've got a violin performance video of this. I'll have a link above my head here if you're on a computer or a laptop. If not, then there'll be a quick link directly underneath this video. The link of where to get this free sheet music that I have very kindly done for you guys is going to be also in the description bar linked underneath this video. I've also got an easy piano tutorial, which again, say it with me, is going to be linked in the description bar directly underneath this video. So if you want to know how to play Chandelier on the violin, then please keep watching. So very quickly, I'm just going to take you through what I've done with this. You can see that all of the notes will have all of the fingerings that you need to put on the violin, plus you will have all the names of the strings that you're going to put. So there isn't really much string crossing in here, as you can see, because there aren't many red letters which indicate the strings. But what happens here is that the first note is a third finger on the A string, then another third finger, another third finger, another third finger, third finger, third finger, third finger. These are all on notes on the A string, and you don't change until you get here, which is a 1 on the E, and then back to a 3 on the A string, so on and so forth. So this music, and along with all my other easy tutorials, will tell you exactly what fingers to put on the notes and what string those fingers are going to be on. The only thing it doesn't tell you is exactly where on the string you need to put your fingers, which I'll go through in just a second. So what you have to remember is every time you go to play a second finger on the A string, it needs to be back close to the first finger, so not stretch, not up here. Where the first finger goes on the A string, where the first finger dot is rather, the second finger goes right next to it. So the second finger for a C on the A string must be here. You've got some first fingers on the A string. Now they're B flat, so they need to be back. If you don't put those first fingers on the A string back, I'll play it to you with like that, but it isn't going to sound great. So for example, if you had it just doesn't sound right, does it? I mean, I don't even know what I was playing there, but it just doesn't sound right. So if you're wondering why some of your notes don't sound right, it's because they're not in the right place. So like I said, second fingers on the A string must be there. First fingers on the A string must be back as far as they will go. A lot of people sort of tend to put it there. They kind of put it halfway between where the dot is and halfway where the fingerboard ends, but that isn't accurate enough. It needs to go pretty much all the way as far back until you can feel what we call the nut of the violin or the ridge of the violin. So probably a lot further back than you think it has to go, and then that will be in tune. So that's for first fingers on the A string. First fingers on the E string, which will give you F naturals, they also need to be back as well. So not on the dot like they normally are, they need to be back as well. When it gets to the chorus, I'm gonna swing from the chandelier, da, 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 da. You've got some E flats, which are first finger on the D string, and again, they're back. So suffice to say that pretty much all the way through, the first fingers on the strings, you don't have anything on the G string, but the first fingers are all pretty well, I think, I'm just having a quick look, but I think all of the first, suffice to say that all the first fingers, so first finger on the D, first finger on the A, first finger on the E are all going to be back. Third fingers are absolutely fine, so don't worry about those, and the second finger on the D string and second finger on the A string, they're going to be next to the sort of first finger dot, so which is a bit confusing because your first finger's back here. So your first fingers are all back here, second finger's right next to the dot. You have a few E flats which are indicated with fourth fingers on the A string. So they're going to be, if your third finger's here, they're going to be right next door to where your third finger would be on the A string. So I'm not going to play it all the way through because I've already got a violin performance video which will be linked underneath this video, but just to kind of start it off for you. So that did, there I did an E flat there. So remember I put the fourth finger fourth finger right next door to the third finger. If you want to change some of the rhythm slightly or some of the notes, go ahead and do that. Again, the way she sings this is quite difficult to put it into an arrangement, so it's only trying to take something like this from a singer into an instrumental arrangement can be quite difficult. But you know, if you feel that you just want to do something slightly different to what she does with the words, absolutely go ahead and do that. Feel free to do that. Don't feel that you have to do exactly what the music says. So moving on to the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So you have to have your first finger back. Now what I would do there, if it was me, once I've got the first finger back, I would just keep my third finger on. So you can see my first fingers are all back, and then I did that 4 next to the third for the E flat. So if you don't want to, going back to that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 drink bit, then what you would have to do if you wanted to do that and it would be easier, when you put your third finger down, you would have to kind of make sure that your third finger was more towards the G string, so it was over. That can be quite difficult to do, but it's something very, very crucial that can help you and can kind of save your life later down the line if you learn to do that. So yes, you do have to work harder with the fingers and pick your finger up, because otherwise you'll get, isn't going to sound right, or you'll kind of get that kind of horrible crunchy sound in the middle. So you do have to, the first finger's fine, but you do have to make sure that third finger is kind of hooked over so that it's not touching the A string. But like I say, it's a really, really good thing to learn. There isn't anything else that's kind of exciting other than that. When you get towards the end, say the last 3 bars, it's that pretty much repeats there. So just make sure that your first fingers are back on the A string for that little section, and make sure your second fingers on the A string for those C's are all back, or they're all next to where the first finger dot is. There is a repeat, which is the third line, from the end of the third line at the bottom. There is a repeat there that repeats back to the top, which is just on the second line. If you want to do that repeat, you can go ahead and do that. That will fit with the backing track, or that will fit with this version of the song, whatever you're playing to. If you're just playing on your own, you can just play it all the way through, or you can put the repeat in if you want to. If you're playing with a backing track, then if you do the repeat, it will follow, this will follow the structure of the actual song. So there we go. There's nothing else that I need to mention in there. I hope you've enjoyed this. Don't forget, all the links will be for the performance, the music video, and the easy piano tutorial of this will all be underneath. Plus I'll put a playlist to all the other easy violin tutorials that I've done here for you to have a look at. It would be great if you could help subscribe to my performance channel and this channel as well. Subscribing just helps other people see my channel, so even though you might be on this video and watching my channel and everything, by subscribing just helps my channel to grow and get bigger, so that everybody can discover that I'm here and I can help more people watching. And I will see you in the next video.